Hi, everyone. My name is Ed Steck. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I currently live. I'm excited to teach this workshop on time travel and poetry. Poets, in my opinion, have been writing about time since, well, probably the dawn of time. Little joke there. But yeah, I'm really excited. And I've been thinking about time travel and poetry for a long time in terms of my own writing, and especially in terms of others' writing that I kind of gravitate towards. I've kind of carved out some writing exercises and just ways of approaching poetry writing, poetry reading, in terms of time travel and what that actually means. We're not maybe physically time traveling like in Terminator, but we are time traveling through our own kind of cerebral networks, and a lot of times those cerebral networks can connect to many other networks, and we can find some really interesting patterns that are forming. So to me, time travel is very much about patterns in poetry. I'm going to do a little quick reading of a book that I just got. It's a very small little Tom Clark book called 35. I'd never seen it before. And there's a short little poem here called Every Day, which I'm going to read from. Daily activity and daily practice is very much like time travel for me, because time travel is also about grounding oneself in our present time, not just going somewhere else. So Every Day by Tom Clark. I run down the Bolinas Dilemma road in the wake of the blowing leaves. The sun comes up over the roof, my legs under yours make, inside the volcano. Later, I run down the Bolinas Dilemma road in the wake of the blowing leaves. Nice little cyclical motion there. Running down the road, running down the blowing leaves and everything. Those kind of movements are very important in my own writing. Cyclical, returning to places, spaces, sites that can make other connections. So my attempt at writing, I think, is a lot about making networks and links and seeing what happens. I'm going to read actually from a book coming out soon on Wonder Press. It's called A Place Beyond Shame. I'm reading from the proof of the book here. Westinghouse Electric Corporation Research Laboratory in Forest Hills, Pennsylvania. 1999, southwestern Pennsylvania, late winter. 2022, southwestern Pennsylvania, late winter. An abandoned lot with a rotting historical nuclear research device surrounded by razor wire. Pulling down chain link fence from frame with deadened body weight. Slipping in, Son of Ghoul slips away into open field memories. Gray sky, dilapidated Westinghouse atom smasher, parked cars. Atom smasher lays on its side, a frosted gourd left out from spring. A 5 MeV Van de Graaff electrostatic nuclear accelerator in a prolonged state of disrepair. A decapitated bulbous head with exposed neck matter at severance points. A rotting head. Son of Ghoul sticks his head inside Atom Smasher, tool of discovery and photo fission of uranium and thorium. Inside the Atom Smasher, a mysterious film plays. Son of Ghoul watches a child and a father walk in the tugboat's bar. Son of Ghoul watches a child sit at the bar alone. Empty buildings, alleyway row houses, shuttered library surround. A father walks down a dark alley, pea shooter 9mm, rifle with scope. Disappearing outside, it is quiet. A cacophony inside the Atom Smasher bulb eddies. Son of Ghoul removes a tear-soaked, pale, near-frozen head from the nuclear research device. Son of Ghoul smashes debris, cries violently, and vomits. Acrid bile rivers and industrial refuse, tossing bricks at the discorporate Atom Smasher, piss on state historical marker, tangled in razor wire, discarnate crumple, police car parked at end of alley creeps, shouting psychos from the woods edge alert, tripping, falling, scuffing, crouching to get away. Sounds of bricks, rocks, metal rods, bottles smashing, clanging off of an abandoned Atom Smasher. There's some kind of afternoon that falls into the back of a house outside the length of a day, somewhere in the rear hallway or the entrance to the room used the least. Instead, this afternoon reflects a microcosm of time that exists in the chronology it derives from, a refraction of only the smallest sliver of a whole. In this afternoon, there's a door that opens in its misalignment. Through this door is the space of another house, one that harbors all of the violence, suffering, and shame committed by the inhabitants upon one another and themselves. Here in this afternoon, all nightmares form a body and walk through the misaligned doorway into the house where it's almost always night. A house is a space that demands completion. The mystery of this house is the correct assemblage and sequence of objects, individuals, and events to achieve a state of completion. A persistence of an off-kilter afternoon, birthing nightmarish creatures to dismember the stability and bodily presence of all inhabitants, disrupts assembling and sequencing. And the afternoon, if it remains, it becomes embedded in the time structure of the house, even well beyond its physical state. Once a house is abandoned, destroyed, or returned to the earth, all of those unachieved instances of completion manifest in the dissociated objects and beings left inside, aside in unwhole agony. Matters haunt. I remember one house like that, a cast of rooms living in a menage of disconnected family, each inhabitant assembling catered objects in various piles to create a defensive semblance of identity. Each of those inhabitants are stuck in a solid state of stasis, a continuous act of collecting tokens, sigils, and artifacts to trap and capture the floating remnants of severe shame, to use as defense methods against shameful severity committed by those closest in proximity, not unlike a distance attack or a psychically inflicted cerebral wound. A house doesn't have phomic grain structure, bit rate, monochromatic blocking, or post-restoration information level increases. Houses have rooms, walls, and corridors. Houses have an uncanny ability to remove the act of presence from an individual, rolling them into a space of existence that is only a remembered act, not a physical space, but one that seeps into the affectability of one's selfhood. A memory of a house is a conduit. A memory of a house is a traversable mirror into those forgotten rooms of both known and unknown houses. Carol Clover writes about the house as the terrible place and its efficacy as a vehicle for redistributing shame and trauma. A house is a chain, a house is a chamber, a house is a cataclysmic pod, a psychically inflicted cerebral wound, a psychically inflicted cerebral wound, a psychically inflicted cerebral wound. If you say it 3 times in the mirror, it still haunts you for the rest of your life anyway. Have you ever seen a ghost? Yes. Thank you.